Hello, Storytime friends. It's so good to see you. Oh, brr, it's kind of cold because it's a snowy day. Snowy day Storytime. We're going to have lots of stories about snow and snowmen and some songs too. So let's get started. One fun thing to do in the snow is to build a snowman. So I'm going to start with this question. If you were going to build a snowman, what do you need?
Snow.
Snow is an excellent first item you need to build a snowman. So picture it. You've got the snow and you've rolled it into balls to make the snowman's body, but you need to collect some other things to put on the snowman, just turn it in a pile of snow into a snowman. What's something that you might need?
Sticks.
Sticks. I heard sticks. We've got sticks. What are you going to use the sticks for? Arms? That's a good idea. Have snow and sticks. Something else, though. Can't just have snow and sticks.
Buttons.
Buttons. Buttons? Look, I've got buttons 1, 2, 3 here. Buttons, sticks, and snow. What else might you need?
A carrot.
Lots of people use carrots for the nose. You might go inside and grab a carrot. What else?
Coal.
Traditionally, snowmen have coal for eyes. You might find 2 pieces of coal. And if you can't find coal, you can always find rocks. I do have a picture of rocks here. There's some rocks. Rocks or coal. Either one would work. What else?
A hat.
A hat. Good idea. I've got a choice for you. I've got a top hat like this. I've got a snow hat like that. Oh, it looks like that snow hat has some holes in it. Let's go with that top hat, shall we? We've got a top hat. We've got buttons. We've got a carrot. We have coal, rocks as an alternative, sticks, and snow. We're almost done with our snowman. What's something else that we need?
Gloves.
Gloves. We could put gloves on the end of those sticks. Looks like that snowman's bundled up. And as long as we're bundling up that snowman, what else might we put on there?
A scarf.
A scarf. Excellent. Okay, I hope you have ideas, and maybe you can collect some things at home and make your own snowman. And maybe a little bit later, Mr. Chase can build a snowman. But until then, let's start with our first book. Here's a book by Nicola Smee. It's called Jingle Jingle. Who wants to ride in my sleigh? Asked Mr. Horse. We do, Mr. Horse, say cat and dog and pig and duck. Hold on tight, says Mr. Horse, and off they go. Jingle, 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 jingle. Look, he's got jingle bells. Let's go over the fields, say cat and dog and pig and duck. Very well, says Mr. Horse, but hold on tight. And off they go. Jingle, jingle, crunch, crunch. Jingle, jingle, crunch, crunch. Can we slide down the hill? Please, Mr. Horse? Asked cat and dog and pig and duck. Very well, says Mr. Horse. Is there room for me? You see down here, a little bunny making a snowman with a crown. Of course, Mr. Horse, but make sure you hold on tight, say cat and dog and pig and duck, and off they go. It's nice that sleigh holds Mr. Horse. Jingle, jingle, swoosh, swoosh, faster, faster goes the sleigh. Jingle, jingle, swoosh, swoosh. Faster, faster goes the sleigh. Look out! Look out! Whee! Jingle plop, jingle plop, jingle plop, plop, plop. Cat and dog and pig and duck land in the cold and crunchy snow. And so does Mr. Horse. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie me, cry cat and dog and pig and duck. That was so cool, says happy Mr. Horse. Come on then, Mr. Horse, say cat and dog and pig and duck, and off they all go again. Jingle, jingle, swoosh, swoosh, whee! And that is the end. That was a good story. It's always fun to go on a sledding. I don't want to. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, just do it from there.
The end. That was fun. It's always fun to go sledding in the snow, isn't it?
Hey, Storytime friends. Miss Melanie did such a great job earlier collecting all of our snowman ingredients that let's build one together. You know, I've got a surplus of stuff here, so let's count one by one. I think we can count together to build our snowman. So let's do that. Let's start with 1. We've got 1 carrot. Well, that's our snowman's nose, right? 1, 2 sticks. We've got those sticks for our snowman's arms. What comes after 2? 3. 3 snowballs. 3 big snowballs for our snowman's body. 1, 2, 3. Looking good so far, yeah? What comes after 3? 4. Let's see, we've got 4 holly leaves. Let's give him little holly leaf decoration. 1, 2, 3, 4. What comes next? 5. We've got 5 buttons for our snowman. Let's give him some buttons on his chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next is 6. We've got 6 feathers on this hat for our snowman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looking good, snowman. Now we've got 5, 6, 7. 7 stripes on this lovely scarf for our snowman. Can you count the stripes with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what comes after 7? 8. We've got 8 rocks. These rocks, what could we make here on our snowman? I think this would make a good mouth. And also eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey there, Snowman, looking good, looking sharp. What comes after 8? 9. Looks like we've got 9 little berries here. We've got some red winter berries, and they're in the shape of a heart. Let's put it right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 berries. And what comes after 9? 10. Now that our snowman's all complete, he's got some bird friends. 10 birds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Birds flying around. Our brand new snowman friend. What do you want to name him? He's got to have a name, huh? Can you think of something to name him? Hey everybody, I got another book for us to read together, and this one is called Mice Skating. It's written by Annie Silvestro and illustrated by Tegan White. Let's see how these mice get up to their ice skating on a snowy day in the woods. I like the pictures in this book. During the cold winter months, most field mice take cover, tunneling deep underground, burrowing into farmhouse walls, or nesting in hollow logs. You can see all the mice finding their warm spots. But not Lucy. She loved the feeling of snow crunching under her paws. She loved how the frosty air made her whiskers freeze. And most of all, she loved wearing her fluffy wool hat with the pink pom-pom on top. It did more than keep her head warm. It kept her heart warm, too. It made her brave. It made her bold. It made her bloom. Lucy loved winter. Her friends did not. "Your fur is freezing," said Mona when Lucy came inside. "Your nose is dripping," said Millie. "Your teeth are chattering," said Marcello. "I know," said Lucy. "Isn't it wonderful?" They've got their different cheeses labeled. She asked her friends to join her, but they wouldn't budge. "We're comfy and cozy," they said, "warm and toasty till spring." So Lucy donned her hat and dashed outside all by herself. She caught snowflakes with her tongue, flapped her arms to make snow angels, and built snow mice, lots of snow mice. But Lucy wanted to share winter with her friends. So she tried bringing it to them. First, she brought snow cones. Then, a giant icicle. Oh, but it looks like they melted. She even planned an indoor snowball fight. It was a soggy flop. "Please come outside," begged Lucy. "Not till it's warm," said Mona. "Not till the flowers bloom," said Millie. "Not unless that snow is made of mozzarella," said Marcello. One day, Lucy skidded on an ice patch. She slipped, she slid, she soared. Lucy couldn't wait to try again. She fashioned skates out of pine needles and scurried to the pond. At first she wobbled, She fell more than once, but with practice, soon she was ice skating. Her tail twirled with joy. She couldn't let her friends miss out on this. So Lucy gathered supplies and returned underground. "Finally come to your senses?" asked Mona. "Ready to thaw out?" squeaked Millie. "Tired of being prove alone?" asked Marcello. Lucy hummed happily. "You'll see," she said. Lucy skated every day. Then she danced back to her burrow, trailing bits of yarn or piles of pine needles. The other mice wondered what she was doing, but Lucy didn't say a word. She just kept working quietly in her room. Her friends grew more and more curious. "What on earth are you up to?" asked Mona. "Don't keep us in suspense," said Millie. "We must pecorino," cried Marcello. That's a cheese pun that I probably don't understand. After a few finishing touches, Lucy was finally done. She placed a new hat on each mouse's head. "These will keep you warm," she said, "inside and out." The mice marveled at their new hats. "I have something else to show you," said Lucy. "Follow me." And to her surprise, they did. One by one, the mice emerged from underground. Lucy ushered them to the pond. Then, as the sun twinkled across the ice, Lucy took off. She spiraled and swirled, swizzled and twizzled, loop-de-looped. She was flying. "Marvelous!" cried Mona. "Spectacular!" cried Millie. "Bravissimo!" cheered Marcello. "We want to try," squeaked her friends. Lucy handed them their skates. Then they teetered onto the ice. They wobbled, they fell, but with practice, soon they were mice skating. "Whee!" squealed Mona. "What fun!" squeaked Millie. "Who knew winter could be so Gouda?" said Marcello. "I did," said Lucy, beaming. The mice cheered. And together they bloomed like spring. Oh, it looks like they made a flower pattern with their ice skates. The end. Yeah, there's a lot of fun outside in the wintertime if you can stand the cold. So make sure you remember your hat like Lucy and her friends.
Let me tell you this story. Overnight, it had snowed, and I looked out my window, and on my porch was snow all over, and I saw a cat shivering in the snow. And I said, "Oh, you poor little kitty. Come inside, kitty." But the cat ran away. So I went in and I brought out a bowl of warm milk and I waited. Sure enough, that cat came back. He lapped up all the milk. And when he was finished, I said, "Come inside, kitty." But the cat ran away. The next day, I brought out that bowl of warm milk and a bowl of tuna, and I waited. Sure enough, that cat came back. He lapped up all the milk. He ate up all the tuna. And when he finished, I said, "Come inside, kitty." Oh, but the cat ran away. The next day, I put out a bowl of warm milk and a bowl of tuna and a little toy catnip mouse. And I waited. Sure enough, that cat came back. And this is what he did. He lapped up all the milk. He ate up all the tuna. He pounced on that catnip mouse. And when he was done, I said, "Come inside, kitty." But the cat ran away. The next day, I put out a bowl of warm milk, a bowl of tuna, a toy catnip mouse, and a soft rug, and I waited. Sure enough, that cat came back. He lapped up all the milk. He ate up all the tuna. He pounced on that catnip mouse. And then he cleaned himself on the soft rug. And when he finished, I said, "Come inside, kitty." The cat ran away. You can say it with me. The next day, I put out a bowl of warm milk, a bowl of tuna, a catnip mouse, a soft rug, and a ball of yarn. And I waited. Sure enough, that cat came back. He lapped up all the milk. He ate up all the tuna. He pounced on that catnip mouse. He cleaned himself on the soft rug and rolled around with the ball of yarn. And when he was done, I said, "Come inside, kitty." But the cat ran away. The next day, I put out a bowl of warm milk, a bowl of tuna, a toy catnip mouse, a soft rug, a ball of yarn, and a cozy pillow. And I waited. Sure enough, that cat came back. Say it with me. He lapped up all the milk. He ate up all the tuna. He pounced on that catnip mouse. He cleaned himself on the soft rug. He rolled around with that ball of yarn, and he fell asleep on the soft pillow. And then I had an idea. I know. What a good book this looks like. I wonder who would like to listen to a book like this. Let's see, there's a cat in this book. I wonder who might be interested. And that cat jumped in my arms, and I scratched him on his chin, and I scratched him on his head, and I read him the story cover to cover. And you know what? That cat never ran away again. Meow. The end. Good kitty. Meow. All right, let's count these snowmen for this song. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, this goes like this. 5 little snowmen fat, each has a funny hat. Out came the sun and melted one. What a sad thing was that. Down, 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 down. Now how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little snowmen fat, each has a funny hat. Out came the sun and melted one. What a sad thing was that. Down, 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 down. 3 little snowmen fat, each has a funny hat. Out came the sun and melted one. What a sad thing was that. Down, 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 down. 2 little snowmen fat, each has a funny hat. Out came the sun and melted one. What a sad thing was that. Down, 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 down. 1 little snowman fat, he has a funny hat. Out came the sun and melted one. What a sad thing was that. Down, 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 down. All right, now let's read this book. This is called A Hat for Minerva Louise. It is by Janet Morgan Stoke. Oh, looks like Minerva Louise is the chicken. Minerva Louise loved snowy mornings. Her friends didn't like them one bit. They stayed inside all day with their heads tucked under their wings. Not Minerva Louise. She couldn't wait to go out exploring. Everything was so beautiful. She wanted to stay out all day, but it was too cold. If I had some warm things like you, she said, I could stay out and play. Look, she's talking to that scarecrow. A scarf might help, but not this one. It's way too big. Is that a scarf? No. And these shoes are too big too. Are those shoes? No. A hat. She's looking up here. That's just what I need. Is that a hat up there? But not this one. And not this one either. It's too heavy. She thinks that's a hat. There must be a hat around here somewhere. She just looked up. She would see some. Minerva Louise looked outside. Everyone had on a fluffy white hat. The car had a fluffy white hat, and the trash can had a fluffy white hat, and this lantern had a fluffy white hat. Even that post. Oh, your hat is wonderful. Where did you get it? Oh, look, what's this over here? A hat. It's perfect. What's this? Oh, it's two hats. Which was just fine with Minerva Louise. Looking her strutting in front of those chickens. The end. Oh, Minerva, you are funny. You make me laugh.
5 little snowmen were riding on the sled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little snowmen riding on the sled. One fell off and bumped his head. Ouch! I called Frosty, and Frosty said, "No more snowmen riding on the sled." But they're gonna do it anyway. 4 little snowmen riding on the sled. Woo! One fell off, look, and bumped his head. I called Frosty, and Frosty said, "No more snowmen riding on the sled." But 3 little snowmen kept riding on the sled. One fell off, whoa, and bumped his head. I called Frosty, and Frosty said, "No more snowmen riding on the sled." But 2 little snowmen kept riding on the sled. Woo! One fell off, wow, and bumped his head. I called Frosty, and Frosty said, "No more snowmen riding on the sled." But 1 little snowman was riding on the sled until he fell off, wow, and bumped his head. I called Frosty, and Frosty said, "There's no more snowmen riding on the sled." It's because you're supposed to sit down on the sled, don't you know? Can't stand up. Hey, Storytime friends, we got one last book to read together, and it's called One Winter's Day. It was written by M. Christina Butler and illustrated by Tina McNaughton. Let's find out what happened to this hedgehog. One Winter's Day. Little Hedgehog was making his bed for the winter when a sudden gust of wind blew him off of his seat. It took hold of his cozy nest and tossed it high into the air. This book has fuzzy patterns for this hat and scarf and gloves so you can feel them. Little Hedgehog trembled as the wind whistled around him, and he wondered what to do. He caught hold of his scarf, hat, and mittens before they blew away, and tried to find shelter under the tree roots. But wherever he went, the wind blew there as well. "I'll have to stay with Badger until this storm is gone," he said at last, pulling his woolly hat firmly over his prickles. Then he snuggled into his cozy scarf, put on his mittens, and, with a deep breath, he set off. The wind was even stronger in the meadow. Leaves swirled here and there, and snowflakes filled the air. Little Hedgehog hadn't gone far when he bumped into a family of field mice, shivering in the long grass. "I've never known such a storm," squeaked Mother Mouse. "The wind has blown our nest far away, and my poor babies are so cold." "My home has been blown away as well," said Little Hedgehog. "I'm on my way to stay with Badger, but I have just the thing to warm you up." And he took off his woolly hat and gave it to the mice. "Oh, lovely, lovely," they squeaked, snuggling down out of the wind. "Thank you, Little Hedgehog." Well, it's a lot nice and cozier there in that hat. Little Hedgehog tucked his nose inside his scarf and ran along beside the racing river. Otter was on the bank, huffing and puffing on his paws. "Hello, Otter!" shouted Little Hedgehog. "What are you doing?" "Oh, hello, Hedgehog," replied Otter. "My fur coat keeps me warm, but my paws are freezing." "Here, have these," said Little Hedgehog, giving Otter his mittens. "They should do the trick." "Thank you, Little Hedgehog," said Otter. "These are great, but shouldn't you be at home in this cold weather?" "I have no home any more," Little Hedgehog replied sadly. "The wind has blown it away." And running on, he cried, "I'm going to stay with Badger." By the time Little Hedgehog reached the woods, the snow was getting deeper. On and on he struggled, picking his way between the snowdrifts as the wind howled around him. A mother deer and her fawn were sheltering in the bushes. "Oh, Little Hedgehog, why aren't you in your nest in this awful storm?" she asked. So Little Hedgehog told Mother Deer about his nest blowing away. But as he spoke, he saw that the little fawn was shaking with cold. "Here, take this," he said, giving the fawn his scarf. "How kind you are," said Mother Deer. "Thank you, Little Hedgehog." Little Hedgehog doesn't have any of his gear left. Uh-oh. Little Hedgehog pattered on, faster and faster. But just as he finally saw Badger's house at the bottom of the hill, he skidded on the icy path. "Help!" he cried as he went bumping and bouncing through the snow. Doop, 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 doop. It's like he's covered in snow. Badger was making tea when he heard a big thud outside. "Whatever was that?" he cried, dropping his toast. When he opened the door, a prickly snowball rolled in. "Gracious me," he said in surprise. "It's Little Hedgehog." Badger carried Little Hedgehog to an armchair by the fire and gave him a cup of tea. Little Hedgehog told Badger about his journey through the storm, and then, cozy and warm, he fell fast asleep. Little Hedgehog stayed with Badger until the storm had gone. As they walked to where his house had been, Little Hedgehog was very worried. "How can I build a strong new nest if all the leaves and twigs have been blown away, and there's nothing left?" he asked anxiously. "I'll help you," said Badger kindly. "We're nearly there now." "Surprise!" came the cry when they turned the corner. Little Hedgehog gasped with delight. The animals he'd met in the storm had made him the coziest nest he'd ever seen. For the kindest hedgehog in the world, they all cried together. It's made out of his old hat and scarf and mittens. The end. Hedgehog sure has some good friends, and he's got a nice warm house too, huh? All right, story time, friends. That's all we have today. And I don't know about you, but I'm really cold and I've had a lot of fun running around outside in the snow, but I'm ready to go inside, maybe snuggle up next to Badger's fire with some tea. Or some hot cocoa. Maybe you would like some hot cocoa. We'll see you guys next time.